The day bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 363. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for the Rated G Network, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/RatedG for Gamers. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Rattino, and this is my co-host, Dan. I think it may be E3 season. Robinson.
What's going on, man? See, I miss E3 already, but then it's sort of semi-E3. It's so weird.
We were just talking about it before the show. Like, there's a lot of stuff this is where E3 would happen. Which happened last year, didn't happen the year before, I forget. But it's been in a state of flux. We usually get, 4 days of conferences and like the 2 days on the show floor. People can play all the games, get all the extra stuff.
Technically, we get 5 days of conferences because EA would go the day before E3 starts.
Oh, yeah, sure. It happens that Saturday. Microsoft goes Sunday, right? And then we get, we get Nintendo and I think Ubisoft, end it, and Capcom maybe end it.
Well, Sony would go on Monday, right? Because Xbox would have majority of the space, right? Like on Sunday, and then the next day it'd be Sony's turn, and then Nintendo would be on Tuesday.
Yeah. It's crazy. Right. It's crazy. So we're doing the work. This is going to be a special episode. We're doing 2 episodes, right? I think we can say that. We're doing one for the Summer Games Fest. And then
last episode we did Sony's conference, right?
Yes.
This episode would be strictly the Summer Games Fest announcements, and then the next show, which we're going to record tomorrow, is going to be all about Xbox.
Yeah, and we got some stuff. We got some stuff to go over.
And we're going to go back to our regular show, and we'll cover Capcom, Ubisoft, and I think Starfield is later in the week too.
Oh, let's not forget Limited Run's going to have something, I think.
I think Limited Run's going to have something too. I forgot.
Yeah.
I got to see when they're going to drop. But Summer Games Fest, I'm going to say before we start, Summer Games Fest is the Game Awards without any awards.
Right, because the other half of it is all the announcements. Yep.
It is Geoff Keighley. On stage, having people on that would be winning awards and saying tell them how they feel. It's the same thing except for they're not winning any awards. They're telling them how they feel about making the game.
Yeah, and look, right? I'm here for it on both occasions. People lambaste the Game Awards for having too many trailers and whatever else, but it's new game stuff.
So you know what? He should just rebrand this. This is not the Game Awards. It's just games.
The games.
All right. He does it 3 times a year. He has Summer Games Fest. Yeah. He has Opening Night Live for Gamescom. And and then he has the Game Awards, right? So this should just be the games, right? That's it.
I like it.
All right. So let's jump into Summer Games Fest. There were over 40 announcements. We're not going to get into all of them. we're going to highlight half of them and go, we're going to do another half in quick takes. So we're going to go over half the announcements. Not all, it wasn't all games, but all game related. So
I think 95% was game related or games.
Well, what was it about games?
No. Everything was about games. There was 95% was game trailers for games. And I think it was one thing that was
Well, we had some movie trailers too.
Was there more than one? I remember one.
Oh yeah. No, we're going to talk about
We're going to get into
We're
it.
going to talk about it. All right. All right. Well, first, let's start off with this actually blew my mind. And they did start the show off with this. The Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. It's an all-new 2.5D action-adventure Metroidvania-inspired platform. Say that 10 times fast. It's from the same devs that made Rayman Legends. You're part of a team called the Immortals that have to rescue the actual Prince of Persia. And the protagonist he's wielding two swords, double-sworded protagonist with the bow and arrow function. It's coming out January 18th, 2024 for Nintendo Switch, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, One, Amazon Luna, Windows PC.
Yeah.
Through the Epic Game Store. So it's essentially coming everything.
Not on Steam then. If
Not
they're
on
specifically
Steam.
saying through the Epic Game Store, yeah.
And I got this from their. I took this from their press release on their website. So.
Okay. Well, you would assume that information is accurate, and we're gonna definitely stand by it. So, I'm glad that they put an in-canon story element in there to why you're not playing as, I guess, the rebooted Prince of Persia from the 2004 reboot of it. Because they're like still going on that story, right, from the Sands of Time. So they didn't have to do that. I thought the dude was just a new art style, but yeah.
Well, I will say when I saw this, I thought this was like a Fortnite sort of expansion release, right? Because it had that similar art style.
Very much.
So, before we got to the gameplay, we got the cinematics, right? And I was like, oh, we're starting the Game Awards. The games
with Fortnite microtransactions. Yeah.
With Fortnite, right? And then you saw the Prince of Persia logo came on. I was like, oh wow, okay, now I'm interested.
Now, I guess it's fair to note too that there is a Sands of Time reboot that's
Ubisoft, in development hell. That's
right.
in development hell.
Well, they showed it off like 2 years ago, and fan reception was like terrible. Nobody liked it. It didn't look that great. And they're like, So
well, they've completely started over, by the way.
Yeah.
Apparently they've completely started, so we're not going to hear about this for another 2 years.
Yeah. Which is wild, because I think Ubisoft is like kind of ramped down a lot of their output as of late. Haven't had a new Rainbow Six game in a while. We do have like Assassin's Creed coming out, but it's been a couple years since the last Assassin's Creed. Far Cry, I guess we had Far Cry last year, but I don't know.
Joe, keep in mind, keep in mind we're going to have a Ubisoft Forward on Monday, right?
Yep.
So we don't know what they're going to show there.
It's true.
But I was excited about the Prince of Persia, the new Prince of Persia game, because we haven't had that in a long time.
Yeah.
Because they've just been so focused on Assassin's Creed, which technically should have been Prince of Persia.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It started off
with
the Prince
of
Persia game. But I will say this: how do you think Ubisoft will do making a Metroidvania style game, right? Because to my knowledge, they haven't really made any type of Metroidvania style game.
They cut their teeth on Rayman doing the side-scrolling stuff. Then they got into first-person shooters. Then they did open-world first-person shooters. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be good. Music in the trailer aside, I think everything in that trailer looked cool. I think they'll be able to do some cool stuff. Right, because you're dealing with acrobatics in a 2D plane or 2.5D plane, right?
Wall running, wall jumping, dashing,
for sure.
Sure. All the stuff that you're familiar with.
Possibly time manipulation if this is in the Sands of Time universe, which it is. So, I think it'll be good. I'm definitely optimistic. I think it was a pretty good trailer.
So here's another thing I was thinking about. Like the trailer starts off by you saying you're part of this elite team called the Immortals, right? And they show your team around you, but in the gameplay you only see one protagonist being played. So you think we'll be able to play as other team members, a part of the Immortals team? right? Like, will you be able to choose like your different characters who do different things? Like the main protagonist has dual swords. Maybe the other one is more of a heavy attack with like a bigger weapon, or maybe someone is a lighter attack, right? Like I don't know.
You could have the archer with the range. I like it.
Well, you do have a bow and arrow with the protagonist. I'm sure that's like, maybe some type of power up.
Sure.
But I guess like real question, like it would be kind of weird. It's kind of weird to say, you're a part of a team, but I only get to play as you. I think we're sort of past that. Right? Like, why is there a, we're gonna talk about another game later on in the show. I don't want to, I'll tease it right now, but there's another old school 2D game that we were used to playing back in the day.
Right.
And you can play as other characters.
Right. It's I hear what you're saying. I think you're saying it's a Chekhov's gun situation, right? There's in any kind of media, if you brandish a gun, you have to pay it off, right? Why are you showing the gun, right? If you're gonna say you're part of a team, you're part of these immortals, and you don't do anything with it, either story wise or gameplay wise, there's no reason to mention that. So that's a good point. I think there's a strong possibility you could have multiple team members, because it was just like it was more than a sizzle reel. It was a trailer. It was a legit trailer. It wasn't just a teaser trailer. It was like a trailer, but we didn't really see like how the game plays. We just know it's a Metroidvania, and we know that it's in the Sands of Time universe. We got a lot of cool cinematics from that for sure.
No, it makes no sense to be a part of a team if it's just me.
Yeah.
Right? Like if it's just one protagonist. Because if it's just you, then why even have a team? Like,
exactly.
You could just be the immortal one, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
you could be the immortal.
Yeah, the immortal. But if you have an immortals team, it's probably going to be DLC where you get to play as other people later on, and you got to pay for it.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Or microtransactions.
No. I was with you up until that point. Hot damn.
All right. Then they jumped into something that I was kind of curious, and I think I said on the last episode, I think I said this is going to be at Summer Games Fest. Watch. We got to see extended look at Mortal Kombat 1.
Yep.
It's coming out September 19th. We got to see the new assist mechanic, which they're calling cameos, where fighters can help you in battle. It's actually one button. I thought this was interesting. It's like a one button push to get your cameos to come in.
Yep.
Where they can help you do combos, but your cameo fighters will have a meter, so it will limit how many times you can use them in battle. Right.
Yeah. It's very much like Marvel vs. Capcom, right? With like the assist characters that would come in, you could use them for combos, and they showed off Kano coming in and like doing some stuff and
Striker.
Like,
we got Striker. That's a Striker. I
my
feel like
boy Striker. He doesn't get the respect. Look, I know he was like everyone paints him as like the worst character in the Mortal Kombat universe. I think he's cool. I'm sorry. I think he's cool.
No, I think so. I mean, basically, it's a brand new story. Like same characters that but brand new backstory since everything is being sort of rebooted. I mean, look, we got Scorpion and Sub-Zero are brothers now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So they're not mortal enemies; they're brothers. Which I, if you didn't read the manual in the original, I thought they were brothers anyway when I first played it in the arcades. So if you didn't read the background, since they wear similar gear, just different colors with different powers.
Yeah, I think they may be from the same ninja clan. The Lin
No, they're from
Kui?
different.
They are from different clans. Okay.
They're from different clans too.
Okay.
Yeah. No. That's why they're in conflict, because their clans fought each other, and Sub-Zero killed Scorpion's family.
Right. Okay, well that makes sense.
In the original storyline, now now it's totally now they're brothers. We saw a lot of fatalities. What's Mortal Kombat without fatalities?
Exactly.
It's super bloody and gory as always, right? And we got to see how Kung Lao, the origin of Kung Lao's like razor hat. Right?
Yep.
He threw his hat and it just flew away, and then he grabbed a chakram. People didn't realize that. Then maybe it was too quick, and people didn't. I didn't see any breakdowns of the trailer.
Right,
that was a chakram. And if you don't know what a chakram is, take a look at Xena Warrior Princess, because that was like her main weapon.
She made it popular.
Yeah, I think I think I looked this up a while ago. I think a chakram comes from Indian culture. I think that's like an Indian weapon.
Yeah, Middle Eastern, Indian. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah. So, and then he throws that, and then I guess he combines that to make it like his hat, right? Which kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah. He's like a Peaky Blinder. I don't know if you've ever watched that show, but they purposely put blades in their hat so they could use it as a weapon.
No, listen, the environments look awesome. I mean, you're playing, you're playing in front of like Johnny Cage's pool with the big rubber duck in it. Like,
my God, you play at his house? Yeah, you play at his mansion. That's awesome. And he's like, what the hell is going on? Who are you? Right? Because he's an action star before he's like interdimensional like warrior, right? Like he's just a straight up. He's literally Jean-Claude Van Damme, but that version of him in the Mortal Kombat universe. So, like, Liu Kang comes down and he's like talking to him, and he's like, "I am the fire god, Liu Kang," and he's like, "What is going on right now?"
Why are you guys in my house? Mm-hmm. But we get to see a young Raiden, right, and like fight scene with the temple. You're fighting like in the temple with people training behind you. Like that was totally that was awesome. Just the environments that they have. I'm super sold. The cameos, I got to see how that's gonna work. I mean, it looks like you get to use a mix of the old characters as your cameos and new characters, right?
Well, I think there's skins for like all of the classic characters. I think that's how that goes. I think like Sonya and Raiden or whatever have their classic costumes.
And moves, and same moves.
Oh, sure.
And the same moves. And the same move set. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more. I mean, we haven't had in a Mortal Kombat game, and again, correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember if this was in maybe past games. I really only caught up with Mortal Kombat in 10 and 11.
Yeah. I
did play a little bit of 9, but I didn't really get into 9, or 8 or 7. So I wanted, I sort of wanted like, what we got from Street Fighter and X-Men, where you could pick 2 characters, right? You could switch between both characters.
Yeah,
that would have been kind of cool in a Mortal Kombat game, and I guess I'm getting somewhat of that because I get a different character that helped me out, and an assist character. But and I love how they have it as cameo with a K, right? Just like the Xbox 360, the Xbox 360 exclusive that was an N64 game, and one was in development. Yeah. I never thought I would see that again.
Oh, cameo, right. It's the elements of power all coming together. I feel you. It's like half of what Marvel vs. Capcom was. Did Injustice have character swapping or no? It was just one character you could play as.
It was just one character.
It was. Okay. So I don't know if they've ever done the character swap thing, but that would have been like kind of cool. And I could see like expecting that. That probably would have been a little bit better. But I guess these are like, it's a way to get like characters in there without like fully building out a character, right? Because they said like you can do different combos in like all 4 directions, or different assists in all 4 directions. So I think there's going to be like 4 different types of mix-ups or whatever that you can like put into your combo and then call in Kano or whoever your like assist character is.
So Ed Boon, I did see an interview, I think it was on GameSpot. He did say like you can use their abilities to your advantage. Like if you have, let's say, Johnny, I'm just going to throw a name. If you have Johnny Cage can't teleport, right? But if you have like an old school Raiden as your assist character, you can have Raiden teleport you to the other side.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I mean, that's cool. I want to see it in action, especially if it's only one button, and it's like one button controls. So it's like you press up, and let's just say it's R2. You press up in R2, down to R2, left to R2, right R2, different. So you have different movesets for the or R2X, R2. I can imagine so many different combinations that you can do. Right. So we know Van Damme is in here, and Ed Boon did talk about, he tried so many times the last 30 years.
Oh yeah, he was on stage talking about that. Yeah, trying to get him in.
And he also said, which I don't know if I ever knew this, Mortal Kombat started as a Van Damme game.
Oh yeah, it's a Van Damme vehicle, right? They wanted to do like a blood sport, I think, basically.
I didn't know that. Well, I don't think or at least I don't remember that.
Yeah.
So they finally got his likeness and his voice in the game as Luke Cage, right?
Luke or Johnny Cage.
Johnny Cage. Sorry, Johnny Cage. Luke Cage.
Luke Cage is the Marvel universe. Yeah, different.
Well, you know what? He should be in here. I mean, he should be Jax.
As a defender? No. They can't because they're already firmly implanted in the DC universe. Because it's Warner Brothers, right? Or Discovery now is the parent company. So
Warner Discover. Yeah. But I would like to know, can you use the Van Damme voice and likeness as Johnny Cage in the storyline?
Oh, wow. Are they going to dub over the... Doubtful? Doubtful.
Give you that option. I mean, first of all, it's DLC, so it's a pre-order bonus, I believe, or deal, or you can pay for it. So it's not it's not like they just give it to you.
Okay? You gotta earn it. Yeah. By earn it, spend money.
Which I will be pre-ordering the game, so I can get it.
I think I may too. It looks really good. The combos look super fluid. But I was about it. They really sold me on stage.
But I would really be sold if I could play as Van Damme in the story. That would be great.
I do know. I looked up the total character count versus Mortal Kombat 11. Technically, it's the same amount. There's 24 characters. There was one I think Frost was unlockable in Mortal Kombat 11, which brought the roster to 25. So it's on par with the last game, which I think is good. I do believe that I think Kano may just be an assist character. There's certain cameo characters that will only be available as an assist character. So not everybody, it's not going to be a one-to-one. They said that on stage.
Well, no. Well, I think Kano did a fatality. They showed it. So I don't know if that's like a young Kano with a different... Again, all the characters I think are going to be in the game playable, just not as you knew them.
Oh, you think? I thought the cameo characters, some of them were going to be just cameo characters. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think the cameo characters are a mix of the old school characters and the new style characters. He did say you can mix and match.
I see.
So...
All right. Well, we'll see when it comes out, but I think that's a good number. 24 characters, especially with all the ones that are in the Mortal Kombat. There's over 100 characters in the universe.
Yeah. Well, to start, yeah. I want to know.
Sure.
I want to know 2 years from now what's going to be, because every 2 years they put out I think the last one was Aftermath, right? Where you get all the DLC characters. I want to know, remember they had Ninja Turtles in the last one. I want to know who they're going to have, they're going to have Power Rangers, are they going to have anybody notable in, that's going to be in,
they are definitely going to have somebody notable. Yeah,
they did say Homelander. I don't know if this is a leak or a spoiler or just a rumor. There's we're going to have Homelander, which makes sense. I could see Homelander in that, Peacemaker in that, right? Those characters make sense. I would love if there was The Rock in any way. I don't know which character he played that you would put in here. But if you had The Rock in here, this would be the first time you can have The Rock and John Cena square off, and it's not a wrestling game.
And he owns his license, right? He owns the license to The Rock? Yeah. So he could do it.
I don't know if it'll be The Rock himself, because he hasn't been in... it would have to be Hobbs from Fast and Furious or something like that, right? It would have to be one of his characters. Oh, G.I. Joe. He was in G.I. Joe.
Yeah, there you go.
Right? So, we'll see. But... Here's my real quick before we get off from Mortal Kombat. This is a real important question I thought about. Liu Kang, for all the games, at least the first trilogy, the main games, right? I think after some of the luster sort of wore off of Mortal Kombat, when they hit 4.
Oh, right? Yeah, 4 was terrible.
Gold, they didn't really get back to being Mortal Kombat until 9, I would say. Right?
Once they went back to 2D, yeah.
Liu Kang has always been sort of Earth's hero, right? You play as him. Yeah. We all know he's the guy that's going to face the boss and
counts
win.
him a good guy. Yeah.
Right. He is now in that rating role as the Lord, right? He's a god. He's a god. So who will take over? And he's assembling the fighters. So who will take over as the main guy to be Earth's standout hero?
I think Raiden is too obvious a choice. Because if it's young Raiden, who doesn't have his Thunder God powers yet, it's too obvious. Too obvious to flip the script like that. I'd say maybe Johnny Cage. Or maybe there's a new character that they kind of bring into the fold that gets worked into the story somehow.
That's true.
Johnny Cage, not necessarily ultimately altruistic and good. He's pretty vain. He's a California superstar that's kind of like enveloped in that kind of movie star universe. So he's not, but I mean, maybe they kind of has a change of heart a little bit. Maybe he becomes like, the force for good. I could see that.
I could see that too.
Yeah.
All right. Then things got a little wacky at the games. I'm still trying to make it a thing.
We're branding at the games. Okay. Yeah.
The games. Yeah. The Games Fest. Mm-hmm. We got an announcement for John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. Singular Commando. It's developed by Saber Interactive, published by Focus Entertainment. It's a co-op action first-person shooter from the team that made World War Z.
Good game. Good game.
Good game. That's also a good game. According to the press release, it's a buddy movie vibes and the all over the top humor, action, horror, classic 80s cinema inspired by the legendary John Carpenter. Coming out at some point in 2024 for the Xbox Series X, S, PS5, and PC. So it's only current gen, not last gen. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, I thought it was like Days Gone. I thought it was like Days Gone meets Dead Rising.
Well, I think we had our day with zombies, right? There's always, everything comes in waves. Sometimes we get pirates, sometimes we get zombies, sometimes it's high fantasy. We haven't had a good zombie game in a while. I know there's been some Walking Dead games and whatever else, and you mentioned DayZ, but that was like 3-4 years ago at this point. Haven't had a good zombie game in a while.
Days Gone.
I'm here for it. I love that John Carpenter's attached. I love that it's going to be like, that kind of Snake Plissken Escape from New York style. They Live kind of vibe to it. I don't know. I think it looked good. It's a lot. You're gonna use your vehicle a lot in this game. It looks like, because you're like smashing into zombies a lot. That's the most fun thing to do with zombies, is to smash them with a little cow catcher on the front, and they just go flying in all directions. The blood's coming over the windshield.
How much involvement do you think John Carpenter actually had in this game?
I think licensing the name out and maybe having some like initial meetings to like kind of get the vibe down, because I'm sure that Saber Interactive or Focus Entertainment came to John Carpenter and said, "Hey, we want you to be involved in this thing," and he goes, "Okay." So they pitched it, they sold him on it, and then they got him as like a creative consultant, right? I feel like that's his role, right? So they're obviously going to make it in the spirit of John Carpenter. Maybe he helped write some of the storylines, because he is a very good story writer.
So there was a character in it that looked just like the guy from Power, the main guy, Amari Hardwick. So I wonder if he's actually in the game.
Oh, maybe. I haven't actually watched that show. That's the 50 Cent thing, Power?
Produced, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I got to start watching that. It very well could be, It
looked just like him. But it was cool, but I think we're past this, to be honest. I think we're kind of past this. I mean, I like the 80s aesthetic, but I don't know how well this is going to do. Not
You're over the zombie thing?
I think this is, is this going to be like an online thing, like a multiplayer thing, like Call of Duty with zombies type of technically?
Yeah, that's the thing. It could be a Redfall or a upcoming Suicide Squad. It could be that.
Yeah.
And
then look at Friday the 13th. They said, hey, license is going to be up. So, we're not going to sell this game, and this game's not going to work after December of this year.
Right.
It was either December of this year.
Sad.
I think you won't be able to buy it or buy it after December of this year. You won't be able to play it after December of next year, I think. It was something along those lines.
Right.
So, look at these games that are licensed.
I know. But it was very good, though. Friday the 13th game was like pretty solid, It
was. So, I think I called this. This next one. Because you asked. We saw Spider-Man at the Sony showcase, and you're like, fall, no date. And I was like, I said they got to save something for the Game Awards. I mean, the Summer Games Fest. I mean, the game.
Games, yeah.
the games. And I was right. Spider-Man 2 gets a release date. It's coming out in October.
Yep.
We got to see the box art with both Spider-Mans on it. And we now know Venom will have a brand new origin story. It won't be this Eddie Brock.
It is not the Eddie Brock origin story, which cool. Yes. I'm about it.
It's cool.
Now I don't know, wholly original or just different from the Eddie Brock one. I don't know how many Venoms there are in the comics.
No, totally original. Totally original.
Okay.
From the comics, they said this would be. They wanted to do something brand new, not in the comics, but still in that vein of it'll make sense in the Spider-Man universe.
Yeah.
And we did confirm the map will have Manhattan, Queens, and Brooklyn.
Technically, it's now just tripled in size.
Yes,
which is awesome. Bad for completionists. Correct. And I don't know if I'm going to be 100%ing Spider-Man 2 because I still haven't finished Spider-Man 1.
I'm at 88% with Spider-Man 1.
Oh, you're over where I'm at. Okay, you're over where I'm at. I got to get back into that. Zelda
I'm not going to finish it.
Ugh.
I'm not going to finish it. You know why I'm not going to finish it? Because those little labs that are on the roofs, I just never did the labs.
Right.
I don't want to do the chase quest. Like,
those are annoying. Yeah.
I got to get this done in 20 seconds. I don't want to do that.
Yep. But some of those are real tough.
Like the book bags and all that stuff, I got that. I've done most of that stuff. I think I'm missing like one or two. But I'm not going to 100%. I'm not going to 100% this.
Too much.
This game at all.
Too much.
Yeah. But I was kind of surprised that we released in October and not November. Because October, there's some other games. I mean, we know Call of Duty is coming out in October, as it always does. It hasn't been announced yet. Could be at the Xbox showcase.
It will 100% be at the Microsoft showcase. Yeah.
Which is kind of surprising because I mean they don't own Activision Blizzard yet.
No.
And Sony had the marketing for
typically
Call of Duty for 2 years, and they still have a marketing deal in place for Call of Duty, but I don't know if it'll be announced that. I think it's going to have its own announcement. I don't know if it'll be. We'll see.
It's possible. Yeah.
But Spider-Man 2 they did lean into some horror vibes with the original trailer that we saw, right? Where you're playing as Miles Morales and you're trying to find the lizard and you're like going into like you're going into this building and it's like under the building in the basement of the building. And it's like spooky and stuff. So it did lean into some spooky vibes.
Sure.
So
mix it up a little bit, You gotta refresh the gotta refresh the template, right? Because they already had two games that were very similar. Not to say Miles Morales wasn't awesome, but it was more of the same. I think that's fair to say.
True.
So
Yeah. No. Looking forward to it. It could be in contention for the second best game of the year.
Listen, you gotta have an open mind, Dan. All right, it's not always gonna be Redfall in the number one spot. All right, you got to give it to somebody else.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe this game. I'm looking forward to this game. Like a Dragon Gaiden. But we knew they were making a Like a Dragon Gaiden game. We thought that's what the name would be, but no, it is Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name, coming out November 9th.
It's a badass title.
Yeah. Well, it was the main protagonist, sort of, his swan song was like Yakuza 5 or 6.
Okay.
And we didn't think we would see him again. That's why, it was a surprise to see him back. And it was like, what is your name? I think is the theme that they're going with it, just because we haven't seen him in so long, right? We haven't seen him. I mean, we're up to what Yakuza game are we up to now?
There's been at least 6 plus 0. And then I don't know if you want to count Like a Dragon. Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Like a Dragon is the next Yakuza. Yeah.
Okay, so 7.
So we haven't seen him. We haven't seen him in like 6 iterations of the game since, right? So that's why I think it's like like what is your name? Like who are you? Right.
All right.
So lean into that. Then they got to something that was very impressive. I was highly impressed.
Wow. All right.
With this, I might even buy it as a digital game.
Oh. Because it looks that good. Wow. All right.
It looks that good. It looks that good. And that is Alan Wake 2. We got to see gameplay of it. It's coming out October 17th.
3 days before Spider-Man. Jesus.
Yeah, I know. The the game will have, now it's confirmed, the game will have 2 playable characters, Alan Wake and Saga Anderson, with a 50-50 split between the two in the different worlds connected. You can switch between the two at certain points in the game. Saga Anderson seems to be an FBI agent sent to the town to investigate these ritualistic murders that have been happening. I'm highly impressed. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. We are. Well, go ahead.
I'm just saying the details in the world and in the environment, that the trees, the dirt, the wind, like they just. I mean, they
the trees,
look
the
real,
dirt,
like,
and the wind.
awesome.
That's it.
You
make them realistic, and that's it.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I need realistic. Listen, you remember Watergate? With the water in Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Was it looking real? Like, it looks real here. Like, it looks
does.
awesome.
It does. The graphics do look great. I will not lie. I don't know. I never played the first Alan Wake. I never finished Control.
They said you don't have to.
I know. And it's not really about that, but I don't know. I've never really been invested in the Alan Wake universe, the Control universe, the whatever. So, I don't know. I'm not saying it's a horror
game, though.
But
this is more of a survival horror game. This is Resident Evil. This is you love these type of games.
But given the games that are out, given the games that I haven't even broken into Diablo or Street Fighter yet, we got Starfield coming up at some point.
Tekken's coming out. Tekken doesn't come out too, and you love Tekken.
Tekken's coming out, Mortal Kombat, Spider-Man, and who knows whatever else in the next couple of days gets announced. So I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if I'm going to get to it this year.
Wow.
I don't know if I'm going to get to it this year. And that's no slight on the game. It's just there's too many good things coming out.
I'm not going to lie. Alan Wake looks like Jake Gyllenhaal. He does.
I'm going to have to give him a second look. All right.
He looks like an evil Jake Gyllenhaal. I mean,
he's giving off some Donnie Darko vibes or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, is that Jake? So basically, it's been 13 years since the last game, and we are in the same boat. Well, Alan is in the same boat as us. It's been 13 years in the world.
They just carry it forward. I love that.
They just carried it forward. So that's why he looks different, because he's aged, right? I look different than 13 years ago when this game came out, right? I actually had hair on my head and no hair on my face. Now I have gray hair. So I think the most interesting thing about the game is you can play like half of Alan's story and then switch to her, right? Play Saga's story. So, and you're in two different. It's not like Mario game where like I'm just playing the same level as Luigi, right? You're in two different environments, technically two different games, because it looks like he's more in like a city area and you're more in like a rural area. And if you play a Saga, right? And I think I don't know anything. This isn't a rumor. This isn't a leak. I wouldn't be leaking anything because I don't know anything. I don't know anybody.
This is Dan's opinion. Let's put that on the screen.
My opinion. So I think it's sort of like a Silent Hill, like the movie where like she was in like the Silent Hill mist world and people were like in reality.
Could be.
And she could be playing
a character in his book or something.
Yes. The things that he's writing, she could be playing it out in the real world, and he's still in the upside down world, essentially.
And then you get the big twist at the end, and then it's like
you get the big twist.
So now you kind of like if that's like if that's kind of where the storytelling is going with some like kind of interesting twist on it, I would be a little bit more invested. But who knows?
Well, yeah, no, so and they also have combat wise. I mean, this is survival horror, but they do have like a body system where like you could target like a piece of the body, and if you like focus on that, like parts of their clothes will come off, parts of their limbs, I think too. I think it's the limbs too will come off or be exposed at least, where you can like shoot off their skin and see like their ribs or whatever. I know they have like some type of system just like that. Wasn't that in Max Payne? What was
There's in a lot of games. Maybe Max Payne 3. I don't know. I mean, a lot of games have had when you shoot different parts of the body.
You know what I'm thinking? Fallout.
Damage.
I'm thinking like Fallout.
Oh, Fallout. You could legit target different parts of the body. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
like if you hit him in the head, like the head could explode, or you hit him in the groin and they could like bowl over or whatever. Yeah.
Well, look at the the trailer for Alan Wake 2, where the monster just busts through the wall. Like she was like blowing off like pieces of whatever. I don't want to say clothes, because it looked like he had a bag on him.
Sure.
But
Well,
these parts of the stuff that expose like his innards, and then she shot him in the head finally, and he died.
Mm-hmm.
It took about 6 or 7 shots to kill that person, to kill that monster.
Zombies are, zombies are rough and tumble. That's why they always say 2 shots, double tap.
Yeah. Well, they look like a zombie. There's no zombies in Alan.
Well, no. Whatever the
monsters.
supernatural beings are, the monsters.
Yeah, it's more like monsters in Alan Wake. So I added this to the show notes because I thought this was one of the most interesting games at the show, and that was Under the Waves. It's developed by Parallel Studios, published by Quantic Dreams. Narrative-driven adventure game about engulfing power of grief. It's coming out August 29th for PS5, Xbox Series X, S, PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
Sure. It's definitely got some Celeste vibes, where there's a heavy narrative underneath.
It's a heavy narrative underneath. It's like you're secluded underwater. Like it definitely, has, like, you do have like an underwater station. You have like a submarine and scuba diving. I wonder what the combat is, because it looked more like scary, like dark and scary, like in some points where you're not going to really see the enemy, but something's there, and maybe it is in your mind. Potentially, right? Like, is there any kind of? It's not being developed by Quantum Dream, right? The makers of those sort of Telltale-like, choose your dialogue adventure
They
games.
did like Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human, right?
Yeah, that did have some combat in it, not a lot.
A little bit.
It wasn't. It was narrative driven, choose your own adventure driven style type of game. I wonder if this is how it's going to be too. But we've always had in space or in the woods. We don't get a lot of you're stuck underwater by yourself.
That's true.
So,
that's true. I mean, BioShock was one of the last big ones that it was all underwater, and that was super cool.
Yeah.
So
I'm not saying this is the first one, but we don't get many of those.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So I was like really interested in I want to hear more about this game and what's going to be the selling point. Like, is there any combat? What was that game that we saw at PAX that you were really high on it? You played it. I didn't.
At the last PAX?
Yeah, the last PAX. We went behind closed doors, and you were in space or another planet or something.
Fort Solis.
Fort Solis. This gives me Fort Solis vibes underwater.
Sure. Yep.
All right. It was kind of, you're alone, which brings to the spooky narrative type of it to the game, right? Like you're by yourself and you hear things, you get to solve puzzles, and you don't know if something's going to jump out at you or not. Like that gave me vibes. So I was really into this game. Like I wanted to know more about this. This was a pleasant surprise, and I teased this early in the show, but we got a new Sonic game called Sonic Superstars. It's a new 2D classic side-scrolling Sonic game with 4-player co-op. Players can choose between Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy Rose, and play with up to 4 players at the same time. You have new power-ups, like you can swim up waterfalls, change form, or multiply. And the game would be out for all platforms coming this fall.
Yeah, wild. I thought this was DLC for Sonic Origins, the Sonic Origins Plus, where they added all, and I'm like, oh my god, and they're like, nope, it's completely original, it's its own thing. Now it takes a lot of notes from the old Sonic games, so it kind of remixes a lot of that stuff, but it's like it's a 2.5D art style, I think, right? Everything's all like 3D'd and all that. It looks cool. It looks cool. It looks good.
I thought this was a missed opportunity. I mean, it looks great. Don't get me wrong.
Missed opportunity for what?
This could have been. Well, this should have been the Sonic 4.
Well,
we wanted, right? Like it should have been Sonic 4.
Yeah, because Sonic 4 parts 1 and 2 were garbage. Yeah.
We got episodic Sonics. They could have made better. They could have made this Sonic 5 and added the Sonic 4 episodes in it as playable as well. Right? Like this is Sonic 5.
Well,
they could have made this just Sonic 5.
Is it just the branding that throws you off, or?
Well, I think we got correct the mistake you did before with how you handled Sonic 4, and it only being digital, it only being it being episodic, and he made it digital so you can put it on mobile, right?
Yeah,
you can put it, and it was episodic, and no one can play it, right? Like no one can play it now unless you already downloaded it.
No one should be playing it though. It's not good. So
like,
not a lot of love loss.
Like, correct that mistake that was made. Make it Sonic 5 and say Sonic 4, the episodes are in the game. We will be a part of the game.
Okay.
And then or make Sonic 5 Superstars, right? Like whatever you want to call it. I thought this was Sonic Mania 2. I thought this when I first saw it, I was like, oh, this is like Sonic Mania 2. But it's in the same vein as like Sonic Generations because it bridges the gap between the old into the new style of 2D graphics, right? So I'm about this. I'm gonna get it. I knew this wasn't Sonic Origins because Sonic Origins was announced like months ago, and it's a little fanfare, to be honest. So I'm excited about this. I want to know more about this. I still think it's a missed opportunity.
Okay.
Now this. All right. I want to jump into this.
Okay. Let's go.
Sandland.
Let's go.
From the Dragon Ball creator Akira Toriyama.
That's right.
And Bandai Namco.
In Dragon Quest. In Dragon Quest. I thought it was Dragon Quest 12, but I was wrong.
Sandland. This was based on a one-book manga that you can only get digitally back in 2000, in the early 2000s.
Wow, that is a deep cut right there. I did not realize it was based off existing property.
It looks like this will be an open desert world vehicle and combat melee RPG in Unreal Engine 5.
I like all of those words.
No, desert open world. I made that up. No release date. No release date, but it's PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, S, and PC. I would assume it worked on Xbox One, but that wasn't listed. I don't know if that was a mistake or I missed it. If I did, I'm sorry.
If it's coming to the PS4, you would most likely come to the Xbox One.
Yeah.
I didn't hear you mention Switch.
No, Switch was not on the press release on the website.
I feel like it'll eventually come to Switch. Very much. I would love it to be on the Switch.
Well, I thought this was a Dragon Quest game too.
Well, I mean, it had the exact same art style as Dragon Quest, and it's like Akira Toriyama. So whatever you look at from him, you're gonna know it's Akira Toriyama. Yeah.
It's you're basically a demon in a tank. And there's a lot of vehicular combat in this, but they do have regular melee combat as well, where you're out of the tank. And it looks like it's a desert world, hence sand land, right? Because it's a land made of sand.
Yep.
I'm curious to see what the story is. I mean, all we know is you're a demon that has to save humanity. I want to know how that works. And this could be the prequel to Dragon Ball. Who knows? This right? Like this could. That's what I was. I was kind of thinking that when it obviously it wasn't it when I saw it wasn't a Dragon Quest game. I was like, is this like a Dragon Ball prequel or something along those lines? Like you know how we have Star Wars, and they said the next Star Wars movies will be like 1,000 years before, 1,000 years after the Skywalker saga, and the Star Wars games that we have, like Knights of the Old Republic, is like 100 years before the Skywalker saga.
Many generations of Sith.
Yeah.
Before even Sidious gets into the mix. Yeah.
I would like to see how we do even before Dragon Ball, before Goku, right? Like, because they do lean heavily into Goku, and I love that. I do. I love Dragon Ball. It's my favorite anime. I told on the other episode when we had Gigi, right? Like Dragon Ball is my favorite anime. Really, the only anime, to be honest.
I mean, it's a good one. It's a good one.
But I would love to see like sort of like a prequel, like before the Saiyans, before Goku, right? Like even though Frieza is there and destroy of worlds, like let's not get into any. We can mention that, but let's not get into any of that stuff. But I'm real curious on the story on this. I want to see. And since it was based on a manga that probably didn't sell well, it was early 2000s. If this game does well, guarantee you we'll see more manga about this story.
Oh, one's gonna lift up the other for sure. Yeah.
So we got not just video games, but video game related movies / TV shows. We got to see finally, Dave. This is what Dave wanted. Dave wanted to see a trailer.
I did, I guess.
Of Twist.
Did I say that?
Of Twisted. You did.
Okay, well there you go.
Because we just saw Anthony Mackie as John Doe, and you wanted to see something else other than just Anthony Mackie, a picture of Anthony Mackie, and we got it. We got sort of that, a Twisted Metal. We got a Twisted Metal half a trailer, partial trailer. We got
a scene from one of the episodes.
We got a scene. Yeah. So Twisted Metal is coming out on Peacock July 27th. And Will Arnett will be the voice, not the body actor.
No, he couldn't be.
But the voice of Sweet Tooth.
And
it looks like him and Anthony Mackie were fighting in some type of casino.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And they mentioned the cars, but we didn't see any cars.
Oh, you're definitely going to be riding around having all these cool action scenes, and you got to do more than that. You can't just all be in the car. So I'm glad they're fleshing it out. I don't know how I feel about the tone. I mean, Sweet Tooth was cracking jokes like crazy in typical Will Arnett, Job from the Arrested Development style, really kind of dry humor, lots of puns, and they're like fighting, and I'm like, all right, maybe, but they didn't really earn that just yet. They kind of just like, here's a scene from the thing. It's going to be like real comedy with a bunch of action. I'm like, I don't know, maybe. I'm still not sold yet. That's what I'm saying, Dan.
Come on. How are you not sold?
I mean, I'm going to watch it, but I'm not sold that it's going to be good. So we'll see.
Well, I need to see more if it's going to be good, but I'm definitely going to watch it. I need something else to watch on Peacock. I pay $1.99 a month.
You're paying $1.99 too much. Unless you want to watch episodes of The Office. I don't know what you got.
I watch Days of Our Lives. My favorite soap opera of all time.
More than General Hospital?
I hate General Hospital.
I don't know, Dan.
Days of Our Lives. All my children, Days of Our Lives, Passions.
Oh my God, Passions. They still have the weird supernatural witch storyline? Is that still
they're
going
gone.
On? Oh, okay,
they're
good.
Gone.
Good.
And those actors are now in Days of Our Lives.
Yeah, of course. Because what else are you going to do when you're a daytime actor?
All right. Then we got the trailer for the third season of Netflix The Witcher, which will be Henry Cavill's last season playing as The Witcher. And they're going to break it up. They're going to break it up into two parts. Volume 1 coming out June 29th. Volume 2 coming out July 27th.
Okay, that's what I was confused about, because I know he was upset with the direction of the Witcher series. Creative differences, I guess you could call it. And he was out, and I thought he was out already, but I guess season 3 is the swan song for him.
Well, he had already shot season 3.
Right.
Which season 3 was already done.
Oh, okay.
I believe. And they, sort of towards the end, the tail end of shooting season 3, I think, like, sort of had creative differences, and he was just like, well, I'm after this, I'm done. So I think his contract was only for 3 seasons anyway.
Oh, well, there you go.
I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm not his agent. But this will be the swan song. And this will officially be the last season I watch.
When we have him on as a special guest next episode, surprise, fans. No.
We can only wish. We should reach out.
Well, I mean,
if Superman wants to be on the show.
Oh my God, that'd be awesome.
All right, they ended the show with a bang, baby. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth coming early 2024. This is the second part of Square Enix's Final Fantasy VII remake trilogy.
Yep.
And the game's coming out exclusively to the PS5 early next year.
This is the end of Disc 1 and most of Disc 2.
You're out of Midgard now. Midgard.
Yep.
we were confined to Midgard. It wasn't more open worldish style, right? You were confined to to Midgard, and now you're out in the open.
Oh yeah, no, it opens up. It opens up. They're eventually going to get an airship, so you can go around to different areas. I wonder how they're going to do that. Because that was the thing in the original, well, in all the Final Fantasies. Once you get the airship, you can go anywhere you want, and then you can just like do all these cool side quests and whatnot. I don't know if they're going to do that, because this is more kind of... It's a lot more narrative driven, where you go from like this thing to this thing, and this thing to this thing, and you can kind of go back to some other areas, but it's really like a little bit more linear, which is cool. I like it. Like it's, they're kind of telling the story in a different way, but I wonder if you're going to be able to... Yeah?
They're riding chocobos. We got chocobos. They're back, baby.
Mm-hmm. You can finally play as Red 13, where he was just a side character, like an NPC. And in the original game, you do get him as a party member, so he's now playable, which is awesome. They still technically have a couple characters. They still haven't mentioned or even talked about Vincent or Kate Sith, which is the giant Moogle with the little cat on top, the robotic thing, or whatever it is. I don't know. So those are like two. Well, I guess Sid too. I don't know if Sid is making an appearance yet. So technically, there's still like 3 characters that were in the original who could be a part of your party. So
this will come on. This will officially come on 2 discs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Which is crazy. One is the install, and then one is the play disc. So 1 disc just as assets. And we know that a Blu-ray disc is 25 gigs, maybe 50 for a dual layer Blu-ray disc. So that's 50 gigs of compressed data. So it's going to be at least 100 gigs on your hard drive. Guaranteed. Prepare for that.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I am so
nice, not so nice. I'm looking forward to the game, just not taking up all my hard drive.
I am so looking forward to this.
Yeah, man.
This really made the show like that much better for me. Mm-hmm. Right? Like it was good, but this made it like
right
over the top. Right? And we have sort of release window. It's coming out early, Christmas 1, 2024. Oh, early.
Wait. No. I saw how you slipped that in there. No, Christmas 1 is coming up this fall. It's Christmas 2 in the new year. Get out of here. I see what you're doing.
Jan's on the beginning of the year.
Jan's on a campaign to rebrand. You're going to throw the whole calendar up.
This is Christmas 2 coming. Christmas 2 coming up. I didn't think you were going to catch that. I just want to say the views that are expressed by one half of Rated G are solely the views expressed by one half of Rated G. So all right, we're early contention for Game of the Year of 2024. Mm-hmm. Right. So all right, I got some quick takes. I'm gonna try to go through this. Let's see if I can make it. If you have any comments, just jump in. But I'm just gonna try to fly through this. We got Life of P. Dark Souls-like Pinocchio action game coming out September 19th. That's right around Starfield time. Mm-hmm. The demo's out now. You can only download and only play the demo between June 9th and June 27th. Other than that, you won't be able to download it or play it, even if you did download it, which sucks. If I download a demo, I should be able to play it forever as long as it's on my hard drive.
Yeah, it's weird that they gated it like that. But I don't know. Did you get a chance to play it?
I did play it. It's Dark Souls with Pinocchio skin. I'm good.
I did not realize it was going to be a Dark Souls game, because I was like, the combat was a little tough, and then
combat was tough.
I fully realized when I got to the little save point, and they're like, "Look, you can save and level up, but if you do that, all the enemies are going to come back," and I'm like, oh no!
Yeah, I died and all the enemies came back. Yep. No, I'm good. I'm good with this.
I will say it's very atmospheric. The visuals and the sound is on point. It's pretty good.
Yeah, Dark Pinocchio.
But
then we
it does need a bit of polish. It's definitely not Elden Ring. It's not even Dark Souls.
All right.
It is
Zelda.
It is like that, but there's definitely not even Zelda. But
no Zelda. We got to move on. We got to move on. We got Warhammer 40K, Space Marines 2. This gives me straight Gears of War vibes. Yeah, 2-player. Yeah, it revealed 3-player co-op coming in the winter, and the special edition statue looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I may have to get this. I did play the original Space Marines on my 360. Love that game. May do that for a Saturday morning retro one day. Then we got Pal World. Looks like a Pokemon ripoff complete with guns.
Yep.
Comes early access January of 2024. We'll see if Nintendo has anything to say about that, because it definitely looks like Pokemon. Same art style and everything. And the Pokeballs look like egg-shaped balls.
Yeah.
If you actually saw that. Yeah. Totally ridiculous. We got a new trailer for Season 4 of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, but still no regular Call of Duty announcement for this year. I thought it would be here, of all places, if it wasn't going to be with Sony.
It's coming on the Microsoft stage.
Well, if it's not at Microsoft stage, where will it be? Gamescom? Is Gamescom like August, and then it comes out in September? But Call of Duty
Gamescom is like late August too, right? Isn't it towards the end? So I think that's a little bit too far out. Not that people aren't not going to buy it. Everyone's going to buy it, but
everything's going to buy it.
Yeah, you want to get some buzz going now, I guess.
All right. Then we got weird for this conference. Porsche's celebrating 75th anniversary with a limited edition Xbox Series X that you cannot buy. You have to enter to win, which I did. So we'll see. We'll see how many consoles they're going to give out.
Yeah, probably like 2.
It is an Xbox Series X with Porsche colors, and it says 75 on it. That's it.
Yeah, and it's going to go for like $1 million. Whoever tries to resell it on eBay.
I know. Then we got new gameplay trailer for Path of Exile 2, an action RPG. They teased find out more July 28th. So if you're looking out for that, look out for July 28th. We'll hear more about that. Nicolas Cage. Talk about Cage. He's the third Cage in the equation for today's show. We had Luke Cage, Johnny Cage, now Nicolas Cage.
The trifecta.
He is coming to trifecta. He is coming to Dead by Daylight July 25th. He actually came out on stage and he was excited to be a part of the gaming world, because I didn't think about this. He's never really been a part of the gaming world at all. I got to check to see if Ghost Rider, maybe, the game, had his likeness, but I'm going to assume it didn't.
No. If it's based off the movie, 100%. No, I don't know if he did the voice acting, but
he obviously didn't do the voice acting, because he said this was his first foray into video games. So
maybe they didn't get the likeness. I don't know.
Maybe they didn't get the likeness. And then I'm going to end the quick takes with Street Fighter 6 Cross Exo Primal. This was the weirdest collab. Not really a collab. I mean, they're both made by Capcom, but collaboration I've seen at the show. It is like a robotic Ryu with a gun fighting dinosaurs. Yep. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. They did show Guile, a robotic Guile, which does make more sense because he was a Marine, or in the Army at least. So I could see Guile with a gun. I just can't see Ryu with a big blaster gun on his back like he did. But they did, to bridge that gap, they did make it a robotic fighter and not the actual human fighter.
Right, right.
Well, something I'm probably not going to, get into, but it's cool for people who want to do something different with, the Street Fighter characters.
Right.
So, all right, Dave.
Well, I will say... Well, hold on. Before we get into that, because I was looking up the Ghost Rider stuff. They definitely don't have his likeness.
Yeah, no, I figured that, because he said this. Yeah, I figured it.
Well, he's got a flaming skull for the whole entire. Even on the cover, it's the flaming skull. So unless there's an opening cutscene where it's like, well, here's how he becomes Ghost Rider, it's definitely not his likeness. Sorry.
Right. So how would you rate Summer Games Fest 2023? Or the better question, how would you rate the game 2023?
I would give it 3 H's. I would give it a Triple H. Isn't he the game?
H? He is the game.
Listen, Dad, it's I thought you would have appreciated that.
All right, we got a
Triple H.
We got a wrestling reference. We
got to get at least one in per episode. No. I would give it a solid B. There was a lot of meat, not a lot of fluff. There was a lot of trailers. There was a lot of deep dives in a lot of those games. A lot of new stuff. Solid B.
Okay.
Nothing like Nothing that I like fell over backwards for, to be fair, but there's a lot of stuff that I'm highly interested in that came out of this. Yeah.
I would say, one, they did have a wrestling reference. I don't know if anybody caught this during the show, during the Alan Wake segment. Alan Wake's middle name must start with an E, because Geoff Keighley did say, we're going to see more of AEW. Alan E. Wake.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I caught that. I was like, his middle name must be E, because he said AEW.
Right. Hey, Fight Forever is coming out somewhat soon, so.
It is. I would give this a B+.
Yeah.
I give it a B+.
Okay.
I give it a B. I would say between the Spider-Man release date, we did get Prince of Persia, and definitely Final Fantasy VII and Mortal Kombat 1. I think what would put it over the top if we would have got the Call of Duty announcement, right? Like we got a Call of Duty announcement that would have put it over the top for me, and something from Nintendo, a little thing from Nintendo would have been nice.
No, they never do that. They never do that. Well, okay, nice. No, that's not true. They did do. That's not true. They did announce Bayonetta 3 at the Game Awards.
The Game Awards, yeah.
It was really just an announcement. More than
I know,
anything.
but that's why I say something small, right? Mm-hmm. Get a trailer for Pikmin 4.
Well, right? then what are they going to show at their directs? They don't have anything. As nice of a thought as that would be, it would be a nice capstone.
I know, but the gaming world, all eyes on the gaming world right now, right? Mm-hmm. Like for Game Awards or Game Fest or Summer Games Fest or the game, right? Like all the eyes are on here. Mm-hmm. If you're not gonna have a direct, right, anytime soon, and Pikmin 4 is coming out next month, at least like, hey guys, Pikmin 4 is coming out. Look at just show us the same trailer. Just say it's coming out or something.
I don't think you're gonna bring any new fans to the yard per se. Like you're either a Pikmin fan or you're not.
Okay, Khalees.
That's right.
I think give me a Pikmin trailer. Hey, remember it's coming out. Like even in the quick takes, because he had quick takes on the show where things were going by quick. Just hey, look, Pikmin 4 is coming. I mean, you had the fake Pokemon have Pikmin 4 come out, right? Pikmin 4 is coming out.
Yeah, I suppose.
And have the Call of Duty, because they did talk about Call of Duty. It was the Warzone, so have talk about the new Call of Duty that's coming out. That would have put it over the top for me. Mm-hmm. So I would give it a solid B+. Oh,
yeah, okay. I honestly, I would almost bump my grade up to a B+. I had almost no notes. on this. I think they ended it well. They ended it really good. They started it off real good, and
pacing was good,
strong all the way through.
Pacing was good too.
Yeah,
I like the pacing.
Yeah, they got,
and it was in front of a live audience.
I was surprised. I don't know if they said that. Too. I don't know if they said that ahead of time, but I was assuming it was going to be, and I think that makes the difference. Yeah, I was
surprised too. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So look out for our next show. We're gonna do regarding the Xbox showcase, right? Like we're gonna do an E3 style. This show is all about Summer Games Fest. Next show is all gonna be all about Xbox, and then we'll get back to our regularly scheduled program the following week, and we'll talk about Starfield, Capcom showcase, and Ubisoft Forward, and whatever else comes out. Later in the week.
Possibly limited run. We'll see. Yeah. Oh, well, all right. Well, that is episode 363 in the books, folks. And we want to thank you guys for listening to the show, for liking, commenting, and doing all the good stuff that you guys do. If you want to interact with us, and we know that you do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. So please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.